So on the menu today, 3 birds in 1. So hello everyone, welcome to my home. Please get comfy, and it's about to get fairly bird heavy up in here. 'Tis the start of the holiday season. Kind of. Well, I mean, I had my Canadian Thanksgiving weeks ago, but for American Thanksgiving, I was thinking we could get a little adventurous here, because I just don't want to just roast a turkey. I've done that before. Let's add in a duck. So the duck can go into the turkey. We roast those two. Could we add in a chicken also? Chicken into the duck, then into the turkey? Add in one more bird? Hell no. Three's company. So yeah, I'm gonna make a turducken. A turducken today. And I've had this thing on my radar for years now, so I'm stepping up to the plate. Okay, it's a recipe from this fella right here, Paul Prudhomme Family Cookbook. He was a Cajun chef from South Louisiana. And the turducken, when it was unleashed into the world, was all the rage.
What does this thing taste like?
It's gonna taste, I mean, can you imagine how it would feel to have your fantasy girlfriend in front of you, and you're 16 years old, and you're just gonna get your first kiss? That's the way it feels, Anderson.
It's supposed to give off the illusion that it's a roast turkey, but when you cut it open, I do feel prepped for this one, as I have made Julia Child's turkey ballotine, for example, which had me bone a turkey, debone a turkey, you know what I mean. Also, I have boned a duck and a chicken. Sounds nasty, I know, but also that's the terminology that you use. Deboned, if it helps you, you know what I mean. Anyway, I've heard it from both ends. Get me out of this conversation. Anyway, I feel like all my actions in the kitchen from the past have now led me to this moment here. Let's get to work. Whoa! I should have done this over the sink. Oh, this is a terrible start to the video. Just terrible. What the fuck? Think I'd make that mistake again? Oh, you live and you learn. Okay, so what I need to do here is remove the bones from this 20-pounder here. All the bones have to go except for the tip end of each leg bone can remain, as well as the 2 joints of each wing. Everything else has to go here. It's a mighty task. As I've removed the bones from all 3 of the birds today, I know that the turkey is actually the easiest of the 3 because it's the biggest. So if you just come with me, turkey, over here. So this is gonna be a messy job, but someone has to do it. I am using my bad cutting board for this situation. It's my poultry cutting board. I wanna be careful with the skin here. Just 1 incision down the spine. Other than that, don't ruin the skin. So you gotta keep the skin and the meat together and keep your knife along the bone and just separating to reveal the shoulder blade. There it is. And I'm gonna work on one side first and then work our way down the shoulder blade to the wing. Sorry, you gotta go. Remove the wingtip. Free the heavy drumstick of the wing and then remove it. Do not pierce the skin and continue to tease the meat away from the backbone. So you're working your way down to the thigh, but I wanna keep the oyster meat. Where is that oyster meat? Typically that is like here. Am I saving it? I think I've saved it. Okay. Cut through the ball and the socket joint to release the thigh bone. That's this, right? Ah! Got it. Okay, I'm making my way to the center of the breastbone. Am I there yet? It's hard to be certain. It's hard to be certain over here, but I think we're making headway, or breastway. I'm gonna do exactly what I did on that side onto this side here. Remove the carcass. That feels good. For me, not for the turkey. Of course, I'm keeping all the bones. It says to use a small hammer I'm gonna use the mini Thor here. And I gotta break the wing 2 inches from the tip. Being sure not to break the skin now. I think that's difficult because you don't want to, oh, I did it. Come on, there, I got it. 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. Okay, great. Sorry, turkey. Leg bone, bam, bam. Turn the meat to the inside so the skin is on the outside and the bird looks like a turkey again. Move the turkey onto this pan here. I'm gonna chill this. So I got my biggest stock pot I got. Add in all the turkey bones, carcass, leg bones, wing bones, neck, the bum, and the wingtips, heart, the gizzard if we got it, everything but the liver. That does not get added. Here comes the duck, quack, quack, quack. This time around, I am removing all of the bones. So I've cut off 2 joints of each wing, and I'm gonna have to do a nifty thing to get the meat out of the leg bones, but besides that, I think everything should be more of the same. So why don't we just hit the fast forward button? Boop. Next in line is this chicken here, and I'm gonna do exactly the same thing that I did with the duck. All right, so I boned the turkey, the duck, and the chicken. That's 3 birds, 3 chances to ruin dinner. Because if you're like me, you're always dealing with turkey problems every Thanksgiving. Dry breast meat, raw thigh meat, an uneven bird. This year, come prepared with the Typhur Sync Gold from this episode's sponsor, Typhur. So it is a dual probe wireless thermometer that lets you track the breast and the thigh of whatever bird you're roasting at the same time. And Typhur's actually making some of the most high-end cooking tech I have ever used. And it looks slick on the counter. It's almost NASA level stuff here. The base shows both temps live, so you always know what's going on. No guessing, no app confusion, and the signal's rock solid. Even through the oven and giving it some distance, I can monitor everything from the couch. And it's accurate to within half a degree. It achieves this with a total of 6 sensors, 5 internal, 1 external. And right now, Typhur's maximizing savings, and if you use my code ANTICHEF, you get 15% off. Yeah, so 3 birds, that's no problem. Well, calm down, Jamie, you're not out of this yet. Thank you, Typhur. How about this stock, eh? So in my big pot full of all the bones and all the stuff of all the birds, half a head of unpeeled, coarsely chopped garlic, drop in 3 unpeeled quartered onions. Picking up on this now, there's just too much stock for this one pot, so I'm gonna split it. It's half a stalk of celery divided by 2. I'm gonna fill up both of these pots with as much water as I can, bring it up to a boil, and skim the scum, and bring it down to a gentle simmer for at least 4 hours. Let's prepare the stuffing for the turducken. I need 3 different types: andouille smoked sausage dressing, cornbread dressing, and an oyster dressing. So I'm gonna start off with the one that needs a little more prep, which is the cornbread dressing. Because you guessed it, I gotta make cornbread. This is the first for me in my life. Glad that you're here with me. So I'm gonna start off with the dry ingredients, and just in simplest terms possible, I'm working with cups today. 2 2/3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 1/3 cup of yellow cornmeal. If you want a sweet cornbread, you can exercise that option, add in more sugar. But he says if you don't, and I don't think I wanna go that route today, I'm gonna go with half a cup of sugar. I think that's fine. This is more of a special purchase here. 1 cup of corn flour. Had to go searching for that. Teaspoon of salt, and a whopping 3 tablespoons baking powder, plus a teaspoon. Whoops. Plus a teaspoon baking powder. Combine all that so that there's no lumps. Started with a very large bowl, now he wants me to have a large bowl. Can I just use that? Perfect. 2 2/3 cup of milk, 2 beaten eggs, 1/4 pound of melted butter, which is 1 stick plus 2 tablespoons worth. You're not gonna find this recipe over at Weight Watchers. Whisk it together. Add this mixture into the dry ingredients, blending until it is just mixed together and the large lumps have dissolved, but do not overbeat. Baking dish, which is, he's looking for a 13 by 9er, and honesty, 12 by 9er. So we're missing that 1 inch, but what it lacks in length, it makes up for in height. Greasing it up liberally with some butter. It's gonna equally distribute the mix into the pan. So I'm gonna bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until it's golden brown. It's gonna take around 50 to 55 minutes. Okay, good luck to you. What is this? I'm not driving spatula. I'm not driving t-shirt. This must be an anti-chef merch drop. What? Starting November 14th. Now, actually, you can pick either of these suckers up separately or you can combine them. Choice is yours, but you gotta act fast. It's only for 2 weeks so that we can ensure that they make it in time to slide underneath the Christmas tree. Visit antichef.shop, linked in the description. In bay leaves we trust. Show me the cornbread. I gotta bring the stock over here. I gotta do a couple things. Just a little skimming that needs to be done. Firstly, strainer in a bowl, please. Okay, package deal. Getting pretty dangerous there. Just do it this way. For this cornbread dressing, which is what we're on right now, I know I'm looking at stock, but we're working on the cornbread dressing, hence the cornbread. And I'm gonna need the stock, but first of all, I need turkey, duck, or chicken giblets. And I'm fresh out. I mean, you know, I've got the birds in the fridge, all the other stuff is in the stock. And I don't have any other giblets hanging around, so I just kind of is an oversight. I got my own, thank you very much. So this is what I'm gonna do here. I gotta dig through the stock pot looking for giblets, you know, heart, liver. Well, there'd be no liver in here because he told me to remove that prior to, but I got some heart. Always got some heart. But I'm thinking I can just peel off a bunch of this meat from the bones and use that in place of the giblets, because I'm just going for the flavor of these birds anyway, right? And there's a whole bunch of flavor in here. So that's what I'm gonna do. Pour the stock back into the stock pot because this is big enough to hold it all, and I may need these bowls down the road. You might be wondering, like, well, if I need all these chicken giblets, why didn't I just keep the liver? Keep the liver that was with the turkey, the duck, and the chicken. Well, here's the deal. I didn't. Once I removed it, I kept it room temperature for far too long and it looked a bit nasty, and then I chucked it. So, and then I disposed of it, so I don't have it anymore. I made a lot of stock. So that's a big pot of stock. I also have a second one. Continue the search for various giblets. Ooh, that's a good one. What's that? That'll work. Oh, there's some good stuff in here. I was looking for around a cup and a half worth of stuff. Bring in an old friend. Here we go. Thank you. If you had a meat grinder, I don't. I have the Whiz Kid. I need to grind them. I'm looking for something very fine. I don't want mush, just something fine. I'll take that. Let's go digging into the cornbread in a very offensive way. That's nice. So I need 5 cups worth of this finely crumbled cornbread. Looks beautiful, gotta crumble it. Great news, I don't think I need to crumble all of it. This, I can just enjoy any other day. Let's get the party started with my Dutch oven. This cornbread dressing is supposed to make 16 cups. I'm halving the recipe, so it only makes 8 cups. Here's half a stick plus a tablespoon of butter. Here we go with an ingredient debut on the Anti-Chef channel. It is margarine. Remember margarine? 2 tablespoons worth of margarine. Don't hear a lot about margarine anymore. Not since I was a kid. I'm gonna half melt that. 3/4 cup of finely chopped onion and green pepper. Half a cup of finely chopped celery. In there somewhere is a tablespoon of minced garlic. So I need 1.5 large bay leaves. Large bay leaves. Well, I have these 2, and then I have this. I hope that's big enough. I'm not driving. So after 2 minutes, I'm gonna add this special seasoning: salt, white pepper, cayenne, black pepper, oregano, onion powder, and thyme. It's been a long day. I was supposed to add in half the vegetables and then cook for 5 minutes and then add in the rest of the vegetables, but I didn't do that. I added them all at once. Anyway, cook for 5 minutes. Dip the chalice into the stock. 1 cup of my stock. Tabasco, I need a tablespoon worth. Okay, so this is a hefty amount of Tabasco. 1.5 cups of the grinded up giblets. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Cook that now for 5 minutes. That already looks very interesting. 5 minutes later, I'm gonna take it off the heat. Off the heat, I'm gonna add in a can of evaporated milk. 3 beaten eggs. 5 cups of finely crumbled cornbread. So I need this baking dish, but is occupied with the cornbread. So this is pretty close in size. Grease her up. This stuffing here goes into the baking dish. I just want to ensure that I'm not going to choke on the bay leaves when I'm about to eat this thing. Do you know where your bay leaves are tonight? So I gotta bake this 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 to 40 minutes until it's browned on top. We gotta make this andouille smoked sausage dressing. Now, andouille smoked sausage is a Cajun type of sausage, and I couldn't find it. Not in my travels today. So he's given me options of you could use a pure pork sausage, such as a Polish kielbasa. And I could easily find that, so that's what I got. Check out this wiener. But I need to do the same thing that I did with, can we beam in the Whiz Kid? Again, thank you so much. Ground this up. And again, I do not have the tools to do such a thing. Well, I do. Actually, you know what? I do. And it's gonna be this, the same way I did with, okay, so let's use the Whiz Kid to ground this up. Can I just do it this way? Pulse. Pulse. Stop and think about your life. Oh dear, that worked like gangbusters. It's just a quick pit stop over here. Let's go back to the stove. So that's right, we're using the Dutch oven again and get it on a high heat. Bring over everyone's favorite margarine. And I did the math here. 1 stick plus 2 tablespoons of margarine equals 10 tablespoons of margarine. He takes margarine very seriously. So there's 4 tablespoons. 6 tablespoons of margarine. 8, and that's 10 tablespoons of margarine. This is a 2 tablespoon. 8 cups of chopped onions. Then I got 4 cups of each celery and green onions, also chopped. I gotta add in half of each vegetable to start. Like a good boy, like you should have done the first time. Saute this until the onions are well browned. It's gonna take around 30 minutes. What is that racket? It's the cornbread stuffing. It's finished. I need to momentarily take this off the heat, add in the sausage, and not the blade of the food processor. Mix that good. Well, that can go back onto the high heat. And I cook this until the sausage has started to brown. It's gonna take around 20 minutes. Mr. Prudhomme does not joke around. I need to add in 1 stick of butter. We got a stick of butter and 10 tablespoons of margarine in there. The turducken isn't just for one person, it's for many. Stir in the butter. Once the butter's combined, I'm gonna add in the rest of the vegetables that I prepped. Green peppers, remaining 2 cups worth. Celery, the same amount. 4 cups of onion. 1/4 cup of minced garlic. Okay, we got a couple more things we gotta mix in here, but just give me a sec. All right, so that's 2 tablespoons worth. I'm almost done an entire bottle of Tabasco today. In goes the Tabasco. 1/4 cup of paprika. Eyeball a 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Holy hell, this is intense. Look at that, blood red. I'd give it a taste, but I'm frightened. Turn down to a low heat, and now I'm looking out for the newly added vegetables in there. They need to become tender, but still kind of crisp. Take around 15 minutes. day is just kind of flying by here. "15 minutes later, I gotta add in 4 cups worth of the turducken stock and bring that up to a boil. Once that's done, reduce it back down to low. This is 5 cups of very fine breadcrumbs. Not cornbread crumbs, just breadcrumbs. The pan needs to be ungreased. I mean, there's so much grease in this. You know, it's so much grease that you don't need to grease the pan. So I'm gonna get this in the oven, 425 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour and a half. Whew. While that thing is baking, every 15 to 20 minutes, I'm gonna stir and scrape the bottom, but only after you've allowed the mixture to brown well on the top. A bomb has gone off in this kitchen, but I have to just keep going. You're just gonna have to excuse the mess. Here's the thing. I have a goal in mind for today, where I need to be in this recipe, because I'll just say it, baking a turducken takes 12 to 13 hours. So yeah, you have to get to that part in the recipe today so that the turducken is ready tomorrow. That's where I'm at right now. This is the last of the stuffings that I gotta make, which is oyster dressing. And let me go get the oysters. And I've had this hanging out in the fridge. 2/3 pound of freshly shucked oysters in their own liquor, right from the ocean. And they're sitting in 1 1/4 cup worth of cold water. And I gotta strain so that I get the meat and the juice will be separate. I've given the bull guy the rest of the day off, so we're on our own at this point. And I'm back at the bloody stove again with a Dutch oven. Again. Load in around 8 tablespoons, 9 tablespoons of margarine. That's why I got the big tub. That should be enough. I'm starting to feel like a broken record over here. The vegetables are the same again. So I got 2 cups worth of chopped onions, 1 1/3 cup of green peppers, and 1 1/3 cup of celery. Once the margarine has melted halfway through, I add in half the celery, half the green peppers, and I mean, you get it, half the onion. Okay, I gotta be serious with you. That margarine conversion doesn't seem right to me. It seemed like way too much, so I just drained some of it, and if I have to add more margarine down the road, I will. Saute the vegetables, looking for the onions to be browned again. It's gonna take another 30 minutes. 30 minutes later, onions are nicely browned. So I got another seasoning mix here of salt, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, paprika, black pepper, onion powder, oregano, and dried thyme. 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic. 4 minutes cooking it like so. I gotta add in the remaining margarine. Oh, okay, that's why I added so much at the beginning. I feel like there's still too much margarine in there, but okay, well, what's another tablespoon? As well as the remaining vegetables. It's kind of all the same as the last one, isn't it? Well, not anymore. I have 2/3 cup worth of each. Finely chopped parsley and just chopped green onion, just the green part. And the bay leaves. Oh, how many bay leaves? I think I need, it says around 3 bay leaves. 3 bay leaves. How about this many bay leaves, okay? I'm not going anywhere tonight. I can barely stand. Once the vegetables have softened, but they still got a little bit of a crunch to them, the reserved oyster juice. 15 minutes later, I'm gonna turn the heat down. I said turn it down, low heat. I'm gonna add in 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs. I'm looking for something that's not gonna be runny, but not super stiff, kinda just like the sweet spot there. I stir the oysters into the dressing. With the addition of the oyster, that means our turducken now has officially 5 different types of meat. Turducken, kielbasa, pork, sausage, and now oyster. What a time to be alive. Spoon this into an ungreased baking pan. Ensure you know where all the bay leaves are. So I'm gonna be baking this for around an hour. 350 degree oven. Halfway through baking it, I'm gonna be looking for a dark crust to form on the surface. And once it does, I can start stirring it. It's probably gonna look something like dark crust like that. Oyster dressing has come out of the oven. I thought it was a little too cooked for a moment there, but then I started moving it around. I was like, oh no, that's good, that's good. So firstly, what I need to do, well, we can do both of these at the same time. So I have some more fresh parsley and then chopped green olives. No, that's green peppers, holy hell.
Finely chopped parsley and chopped green onions, just the green part.
On top of that, I'm gonna add in this tablespoon or so of softened butter. Move it around. I'm tempted to just do it with my hands. They're clean. You gotta be careful because the oyster meat is in there and you don't wanna break that apart. All right. That's a good thing I have 2 of these. So I need a big surface here. Oh my God, the turkey! What in God's name is happening here? So take the turkey onto my surface. Sorry, cutting boards. Skin side down on a flat surface, exposing as much of the meat as possible. I've already prepared the seasoning mix here, which is another one of these. We've been using them all day. Salt, black pepper, white pepper, cayenne pepper, thyme, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. Spread 3 tablespoons of this and then patting the seasoning with your hands, you know, into the flaps, I'm gonna take the dressing that has the kielbasa in it, remember that one? And it has cooled off completely. Of course, like you don't wanna put the hot stuffing in here. Add this stuffing into the leg, thigh, and wing cavities until they're full of the sausage filling here. Until full, but not tightly packed. Into the wing cavities also. Even layer of the sausage dressing all over the exposed meat. Here comes the duck. And I need to spread. Oh man, it's been in the fridge for a while. So I turned the fridge on to a colder setting only for today. And it was too cold. So that really blows. Okay, I think that will suffice. Now that the duck has thawed out a little bit, come on, bend those joints. Take around a tablespoon of the seasoning mix onto the meat, pressing it down with your hands. The cornbread dressing, 4 cups worth of that, spread evenly. Duck has no more exposed parts. Incoming chicken. This is like the Russian doll of poultry. Around a tablespoon of the seasoning mix onto the chicken. Pat that down. The oyster dressing, I should have made just the perfect amount of it. All in all, each one of these layers should be around 1/2 inch thick. Enlist another person's help to carefully lift the open turducken into my baking pan. I'm acting solo here, so wish me luck. That fits the criteria that he's asking for in terms of baking pans. It's 15 by 11. I don't know how the hell that's gonna work. So how the hell are you gonna move this into the baking pan solo? Even if you had another person, how do you do this? Oh my God, oh my God, I did it! Oh, I need to take a bath. He says that it needs to fit snugly into that baking pan. It's very snug. Fold the sides of the turkey. How the f is that gonna work? If I had a helper, they could help hold the turkey together while I sew it up. Fresh out of helpers right now. I'm the only one around. And so I got my trussing needle and some twine. But if we start sewing here, and then we can slowly start tightening it up. Just gotta be careful with the skin that I don't tear it too much. Stitches around 1 inch apart. All right, so the turkey skin suit is now contained. Big opening at the bottom here. See that? Ay, the visuals. I'm just gonna move you over here now that you're secure. So the wings just need a little TLC. They just, you know, just a little stitch up. Turducken mode activated. This thing is ready to, like, look at that. Look at, oh, skin side down. The turducken is breast side up. Holy shite. I need to use the remaining seasoning mix on the skin. I believe that I'm not buttering up this skin because of the way that we're cooking it, which is low and steady. 190 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 13 hours. And I think going that method, slow and steady, along with the seasoning mix on here, it's gonna penetrate, right? We should get like a nice brown skin on this. That's what I'm hoping, crispy and brown. That's why we're not buttering it, I think. I'm so tired. Holy hell, this weighs as much as I do. Good luck, turducken. So I feel like a walking zombie right now. I started this yesterday morning. It's now 6 o'clock in the morning. So I pulled an all-nighter making a turducken. You know, I had a couple pauses where I just caught my breath, and when I was baking one of the stuffings, I did take a quick nap, closed my eyes just for like a moment while it was in the oven, and then I woke up to a beep, beep, beep. So this should be arriving just on time for dinner. So that's great. You know what's not great is this huge mess, because do I clean? Do I sleep? I think I have to clean first. This is a disaster. Back from the dead. Spent the day roasting a turducken. Not that many people can say that, I don't think. I feel a little more alive here, so let's figure out things. We're on hour 10 of a 12 to 13 bake-off. I didn't feel like I needed to monitor the temperature of the turducken through the day because it was such a slow cook. It's like, okay, I don't really need to know. Now I do, because the thing is chugging along and I'd like to take a look and see what it's at. So I'm gonna probe it, not once, but twice, with the Typhur Sync Gold here. Whoa, cool. So one of the probes is gonna go directly into the center of the white meat. The other one, I wanna check the leg here. So in between the thigh area. Of course, the goal is 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And then back in it goes for a couple more hours.
And boom.
Never cooked this many birds all at once before, so I wanna ensure that it's fully cooked through, like all 3 of the birds. So I'm gonna stick the probe in a couple different places. Hey, it's ready on all fronts here. I'm gonna leave it out and rest for an hour. So who's ready to party? Sweet potato and eggplant gravy coming right up. Let's get the heat going on my Dutch oven. This is turducken rendered fat. 1 cup worth. In total, this is 8 cups worth of chopped eggplant. I add in 6 cups to start. I saute the eggplant until it's translucent, browned, and soft. It's gonna take around 5 minutes. After that's done, add in the remaining eggplant. And 2 cups of chopped onion. Cook until the mixture starts to brown from all the sediment scraped into it, like the fond, the brown stuff. And then I continue to cook until I can easily scrape that up into the mixture. 2 cups of finely chopped sweet potato. Cook this for 4 minutes. In goes 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, 2 bay leaves. I'll double it. Not wearing that t-shirt anymore, but you know why. 3 tablespoons of a seasoning mix that includes salt, white pepper, cayenne pepper, dry mustard, and thyme. Stir that well. 2 cups of my turducken stock. Cook that for 5 minutes. I have a total of 1 cup of dark brown sugar. Add half of it in now. 2 minutes later, add in another 2 cups of stock. He says the continuous addition of stock, the way we're doing it, is going to result in a richer gravy. I'm all for it. Well, I don't care right now. I mean, if this recipe wasn't so damn long, I would be all for it, but kind of just want to go home. I am home, but just not here. Stirring continuously, and then another 10 minutes later, the rest of the brown sugar, 2 more cups of stock, continuing to stir for another 10 minutes. 2 more cups of stock, 15 minutes with the heat up high, and then I'm gonna reduce the heat, let it simmer for another 15 minutes. So that's gonna be half an hour. I'll see you then. Half an hour later, 2 more cups of stock. And then I simmer that for 5 more minutes. Time to strain it. Gentle. Extracting as much liquid as possible. Need a 4-quart saucepan. Perfect fit. 2 cups worth of chopped sweet potato. And then it says 2 more cups of stock, but I feel like that's overkill. I don't know what we're doing anymore. Why is this so much work? Okay, on a high heat, I'm gonna bring it to a boil, then I'm gonna reduce the heat and simmer for 1 hour. Crack open the good stuff. I need 2 tablespoons of Grand Marnier. And when you know it, I have to simmer it for even more time. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. After that goes a cup of finely chopped green onions, just the green part, a tablespoon of that seasoning mix again, and the remaining 2 cups worth of stock. Bring it up to a boil, then I bring it back down to a simmer. I simmer for 20 minutes, and hopefully this is reduced down to around 6 cups worth. This gravy making experience has been surreal. Is this smart? No regrets. The gravy is done, and I think it looks swell. So the turducken has a little more color in the skin. That's because I was looking at it, it looked a little pale, I brushed it lightly with butter, and just had it in the oven, 450 degrees Fahrenheit, very briefly. And then the color just showed up, and I was like, okay, I'm good. So I removed it, so it is a little hot. Now the main thing I gotta figure out is that there's so much fat in this roasting pan. We know what ducks can do over here. Of course they're fat machines, but then you throw in a chicken and a turkey and you just get so much of it in there that it's halfway up the pan. First thing I wanna do is transfer it out of this roasting pan. I think it's important for all of us to see how much fat is in this pan. 4 cups worth. 4 cups of fat. Holy shit. Order up. Whoa. Turducken. That's the turducken. That's a fucking turducken. Whoops. What's that? It's the turkey. No, that's the chicken. Where's the turkey? This one is. It's a lot of work for one person. If you had a ragtag group of people helping you out, it's manageable, but just one person, I don't know. I liked it all very much. All of it. I thought it was sensational. Much spicier than I ever thought it would be. But that's what happens with that spice mix that I kept adding. The cayenne and just all the other types of pepper that were in that blend. And it's in every component, I believe. And it's spicy. Everything was spicy in an enjoyable way, not overpowering in the slightest. It's insane. 3 birds on one plate is, a lot to deal with. You're eating chicken, but then all of a sudden you're like, no, that's the turkey. The chicken's over there. And it's like, huh? But then the duck is there too. And it's nice to break up because it tastes different than the other two, much different than the other two. I took a big bite out of duck's skin. I could have done without that. I don't know how that made its way in there. Well, because the skin was on, but that was the one thing where I was like, okay, well, I didn't need that. But the thing is, the duck's skin really rendered out all that fat that just seeped into all of the stuffing and just the whole bird. It was all very moist. It's juicy and it's unique. And my favorite of the 3 stuffings ended up being the sausage one. That's the one I couldn't get enough of that one. Close second was the cornbread one. You could really pick up the cornbread. But I really have no complaints besides just how difficult it was to make that. That's why it's a special thing, the turducken. I mean, besides the few lights that are shining down on me right now, I'm basically just eating this in the dark by myself. That's not how it's meant to be served. I think this is the one thing that kind of lost the plot, is the gravy. And it was good. It had like a spicy, sweet potato thing going on. Spicy and sweet. And I liked it. But the amount of steps that were involved, and just right at the end there, it's like, I don't want to keep doing this, but I must. It's simmering 5, 10, 15, 25 minutes, an hour. It just kept simmering. And, I'm also the same guy that completely drenched my plate in it, and it moistened everything up. So it really added to it also. So, what the hell do I know? Not much, clearly. That's turducken. That's the frickin' turducken. Okay. Honestly, I've just had enough. Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of... I'm gonna go to bed. It's early again. So, that's it. That's all. This was Spine and Dine. Bon appetit. Au revoir.